at Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. It's time for Ballroom Boxing. Superstars from sports in attendance today. In the baseball world, Hall of Famer Brooks Robinson loves the ballroom. He is in attendance also. From football, Lenny Moore here tonight, and Carmelo Anthony of the national champions, Syracuse. Carmelo Anthony, a local boy who loves the ballroom. Hi, everybody. I'm Larry Michael, along with Jon Saraceno. Welcome to another exciting night of Ballroom Boxing. Tonight, the young guns are on center stage as we wrap up the season. Unbeaten, Ishmael, Arvin, and Cory Cummings all will see action tonight, John. A taste of the future in the ballroom tonight. Cory Cummings, a powerfully built light heavyweight, biting off a lot tonight against the veteran Darren Whitley.
Well, Cummings only has 3 fights coming into tonight. Whitley with 40 bouts. You wonder, is he bitten off more than he can chew?
A lot of unbeaten records on the line tonight here in the ballroom. When we return, Ballroom Boxing is in the ring. Don't go away. Ballroom Boxing is brought to you by Toyota and by Luna de Luna. Vibrant wine blends, perfect for any occasion. Luna de Luna, get some. By Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. And by Michael's 8th Avenue, a host of grand occasions. And by BallroomBoxing.com for the latest in ballroom boxing action, including upcoming live events and season tickets. Welcome back to the ballroom. Unbeaten Ishmael Arvin taking on the veteran Leo Edwards. Jon Scheinman now with a look at this battle. John.
Larry, I mean, we got a young undefeated prospect from Baltimore against a 39-year-old middleweight out of Philly who's tough as nails. Feels like the 40s again here at Michael's 8th Avenue. I'm really looking forward to this fight. Ishmael Arvin, undefeated, has fought 4 of his 5 lifetime fights right here in the ballroom. He's a rangy fighter, quick hands, but on occasion he has shown explosive knockout power. And tonight he's facing, without question, his toughest opponent. Leo Edwards has been in with some of the roughest, toughest guys in the division. He's won 3 of his last 4, the only loss coming against Olympian Dante Craig in his last bout. This guy might be 39 years old, but he has a reputation for excellent conditioning. This could be a good one.
Sure could be. We hope it is. Let's go to Pat O'Malley to get it started.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ballroom Boxing presents this 6th-round bout in the junior middleweight division. Your referee in charge is Kenny Chevalier. Judging the bout at ringside, John Gradowski, Don Richer, and Malik Waleed. Your scorekeeper is Bill Holmes. The timekeeper is Tommy Canaris. Introducing the boxers. First to my right, out of the blue corner, wearing the blue and white trunks. He weighed in at 154 3/4 pounds. From the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. His record, 14-9-2, 8 via the KO. Please welcome Leo Edwards. To my left, out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with white trim. He weighed in at 155 1/4 pounds. He is from Baltimore, Maryland. His record, 5-0-1, 5 KOs. Please welcome Ishmael Arvin.
Arvin, 25 years old, Edwards, 39. And Kenny Chevalier, the referee.
This is just a touch time. I'm gonna allow a little bit of top of this, okay? Main thing I want is a clean break. Both of you, watch the low blows. I don't want them hands used wrong. Touch these gloves up. Let's fight.
All right, Mr. Saraceno, how about that matchup?
Well, a pair of junior middleweights, Larry. Arvin versus Edwards. You see Arvin 5'10", 3 inches taller than Leo Edwards. Let's see if he can make that height and reach advantage to his use.
Leo Edwards, certainly no youngster. And Ishmael Arvin comes right out and tries to end this one in a hurry. I've seen Leo Edwards fight before. He's very awkward. You take a pretty good shot. We'll see what Ishmael Arvin has here tonight. Not so sure that the hair of Edwards isn't getting in his own way. Clubbing right hand that time by Arvin. Overhand right by Edwards.
Boy, he is awkward. You were right about that.
Comes flying with elbows and knees and everything else. A shot to the hip by Edwards. Ishmael Arvin had a fantastic amateur career. Turned pro in January of last year. Has an unblemished record, 5 wins, no losses. Had a draw against Darnell Wilson, not the Dingling man, a different Darnell Wilson, back in August of last year.
Watch the feet, watch the feet.
Well, this is a real test for Arvin, style-wise, if nothing else.
Probably toughest test of his career, John, in terms of fighting a guy that's a veteran. He's going to see some tricks from Edwards, that's for sure.
Going to see everything. Edwards with only, what, I think 8 knockouts, 25 fights.
He's coming after Arvin, like I told you, with everything he's got. Elbows, forearms, punches.
You talk about poor balancing, keeping your legs spread apart. Edwards is all over the place.
Just the way he fights. Good body shot by Arvin. Arvin has to stay disciplined. Oh, big head-to-head contact that time. Arvin has to stay disciplined, John. If he goes along with the wild antics of Leo Edwards, he'll get taken out of his game.
Don't hold him, don't hold him.
Edwards likes to use that head on the inside. Goes down low. Throwing some effective body punches. You never know when he's going to throw a punch and from what angle. Kind of loops his shots.
Leo Edwards has been against some tough competition. Former world champion Raul Marquez early in his career took on Leo Edwards. Leo Edwards took a 4-year break from 96 through 2000. Round 2 will be next. Arvin and Edwards in the ballroom. Back to the ballroom. Here is how this fight ended as Edwards went to touch gloves. Arvin says, I don't want any of that. How about this upside your head?
And we've seen that before in fights. You're not required to touch gloves. It's a professional courtesy.
No, I see. Well, Arvin less than courteous. There's blood. There's blood from the bridge of the nose of Ishmael Arvin. I don't know if that was from a headbutt or from a punch.
He just started the round.
So maybe some of that head work inside.
Maybe on the bridge of the nose it is?
I think it is right on the bridge of the nose of Ishmael Arvin. I mean, you look at Leo Edwards, and he is just one tough guy. And he's a wild, wild fighter. So all the head banging and elbow smacking somewhere along the way. Oh, big right hand by Edwards scores, and Ishmael Arvin won't let him off the ropes.
Well, Arvin landed a good left hook to the body. It slowed up Edwards just a little bit.
Come on out of there, come on out of there.
Edwards fought Darrell Coley early in his career. Stopped in the 6th round. Raul Marquez halted him in 3.
Edwards has been in with a lot of guys, a lot of good fighters. Certainly has the experience.
Step back, step back.
But he's never been able to rise to the occasion, really, in a big way.
Johnny's been in tough, and he's had some adversity in his career.
Oh, good right hand by Arvin, Larry.
Edwards holding on the inside. And he's throwing those punches, not from left field, from outside the stadium he's throwing those punches. Body shot by Ishmael Arvin.
Well, Edwards is paying for that lack of accuracy, and the fact that he's such a scattershot puncher left himself wide open, and Arvin capitalized.
Edwards was knocked out in the 2nd round by Dante Craig last time out. But that was 8 months ago.
More blood coming down the nose of Ishmael Arvin. not really bothering him.
Uppercut on the inside by Edwards. Scores.
Good round for Arvin here. He's found the target more often in the second round.
Somebody's lost their mouthpiece. Kenny Chevalier has it. Hard to tell on that infighting. Edwards' legs buckled for a moment there, but he continues to dig down deep. Arvin smothering Edwards up against the ropes. Wow, what action in the ballroom.
When you look up the word free swinger in a dictionary, there's a picture of our friend Leo Edwards. He's one of the most undisciplined punchers I've seen in a long time.
Welcome back to the ballroom. Ishmael Arvin really brought the heat, put it right on Leo Edwards in round 2.
Well, he pinned him up against the ropes and really went to work on him with both hands. If we're going to be able to see it here, see wild swings by Edwards. And Arvin, this was not his best work of the round, really, but later in that sequence, he would really dig down. There you see the left hand and score points, and that was a good round for Arvin.
Round 3 underway. Big right hand by Arvin scored, and Edwards continues to wing wildly. Jon Scheinman, how do you have this fight through 2?
This is a good one, Larry. 2018 Ishmael Arvin and some really excellent battling here. But I'll tell you something, I don't think Leo Edwards is as free swinging as he looks. I've been counting the number of right hands he's throwing on the left hip of Ishmael Arvin, and he's landed that hard blow 9 times, looking to take the legs away from Arvin in the later rounds here. And he's been right on the money with the shot. I'd advise Arvin to get him out of there as soon as he could, because this is a tough fight.
So he's a free swinger with a scheming plan.
That's right. Well, I would, oh, wow, nice stiff jab, catching Edwards on his heels.
Well, Edwards is horribly off balance, and Arvin's been able to capitalize on that throughout the fight.
Edwards continues to bore forward.
But this is not an easy fight for Ishmael Arvin. He's learning a lot from this kind of an opponent.
I mean, Edwards is swinging from his heels. That is a free swinger. He's missing his opponent by 2 feet a punch. Edwards trying to tie up Arvin right here. Question here is, where's the power of Ishmael Arvin? Edwards was taken out in the second round by Dante Craig. But Dante Craig has had many, many setbacks in his young career.
Well, sometimes the guy gets more motivated on a certain night too, or maybe he trains better. You know, he's from Philadelphia, right up the road. He's determined not to get knocked out. Certainly, Edwards has been very active in this fight. I wouldn't call it necessarily effective aggression, but he's been aggressive.
The body shots by Arvin do find the mark.
And that's why Edwards is resting those, what are they, 36-year-old legs?
39.
Against the ropes. Right now, he needs that. He's using those ropes for support.
Edwards really being smothered by Arvin, and I don't think you can score this any other way than Arvin scoring with Edwards up against the ropes, just trying to defend himself.
Trust me, this is not a rope-a-dope strategy. He's there because he needs to be.
And this fight could have been fought in the phone booth. Edwards trying to chop his way out of that corner, but Arvin won't let him. That whole round was fought up against the ropes by Leo Edwards. Big round for Ishmael Arvin here in the ballroom. Looking back at action from round 3. My man Edwards throwing from outside this zip code.
I mean, that is not what you call textbook boxing.
I want to thank the folks with the jug. AM 1300. Call Steve, those sports guys, WJFK AM 1300 in Baltimore, for their continued support of the Ballroom Boxing Show. In the ring right now, Ishmael Arvin, black trunks with a white trim, going against Leo Edwards in the blue trunks with a white trim, and the white is turning red as the blood from the nose of Ishmael Arvin has been flowing from the opening round.
Let him out easy, let him out easy. Break, step, hey, step
And
back
Arvin looks a little bit weary right now, John. He has hit Leo Edwards with everything he's had.
Go home, fellas, hands free.
Well, he shouldn't be weary if he is, even though the pace has been terrific. It's a 4th round. He should have a lot of energy left in him, and I suspect he will continue to fight at a good pace.
The nose of Ishmael Arvin might be broken, and Edwards just, again, chopping away with those roundhouse punches. There's nothing pretty about the style of Leo Edwards, that's for sure.
I don't think he's ever going to be admitted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in Canastota, but he is trying to win the fight.
Once again, back to that familiar corner. The people at Luna de Luna Wine would appreciate Edwards staying right in that corner where their signage is. There's that wild left hand by Edwards and a wild right behind it.
Step back, my man. Turn it over, let's go.
It's a good learning experience for young Ishmael Arvin, that's for sure. Just 25 years old. Unbeaten, and this is a tough fight for him against a guy who is more than unorthodox.
Of course, by Mac Lewis. Been around a long time. You can learn a lot from Mac Lewis. And this kind of a fight, as you mentioned, should be a great learning experience for him. It's an ugly kind of a fight. It'll be an ugly kind of win if he holds on. But these are the kind of fights you have to have as you're moving up the ladder of professional boxing. You've got to fight all styles. I think it's safe to say that Ishmael Arvin will never face a style quite like Mr. Edwards again in his lifetime. And he'll probably be glad for it.
Oh, Edwards scored that time with one of those wild shots. I guess that's what he's hoping, that Arvin walks into one.
You know, who does Leo Edwards bear a small facial resemblance to?
I don't know who.
Livingston Bramble. Just a little bit.
I don't know. Okay. But hey, maybe Edwards spins Arvin into the ropes. And this fight rolls on. More coming up from the ballroom. Round 5 is next when we come back. Welcome back to the ballroom. Round 5 getting set to begin. This fight is scheduled for 6 rounds. Larry Michael, Jon Saraceno. And as always, Jon Scheinman. Jon, how do you have it scored through 4?
Rough and tumble, but a shutout nevertheless for Ishmael Arvin, 40-36. He's just landed the precision shots, and he's managed, despite the chaos in the ring, to maintain control of Leo Edwards, and he just hasn't let this wild guy get out of the bag. So far, so good for Arvin, but anything can happen when punches are coming in like that.
Well, Leo Edwards comes at you from every angle. And the nose of Ishmael Arvin is not very pretty. He's got it pretty busted up right on the bridge of his nose. And Edwards, though, I don't think Edwards has won a round, John.
I thought Scheinman said he wasn't a free swinger 2 rounds ago.
I think he did say that. But
just wondering.
He's convinced him now.
I talked him into it, I guess.
Don't hold him, look it off.
And Leo Edwards' shoes are bloody. I don't think I've seen a boxer with bloody shoes, but Leo Edwards has blood all over his shoes. The blood is Ishmael Arvin's. Nice chopping left hand by Arvin. All of Arvin's 5 wins have come by way of knockout. Left hook, kind of smothered by Edwards. Well, that's a sharp jab right off the mouth of Edwards. The nose of Ishmael Arvin getting swollen and bleeding, not from just the top now, from inside as well.
Something might be broken.
Don't go low.
And Edwards just continues to come with those chopping blows, and he really is wearing Arvin down. As much punishment as Arvin has inflicted, John.
I don't think Arvin is worn down. I really don't. I just think it's a matter of the guy's right on top of him, smothering him. So Arvin can't quite get into a rhythm at all times in the fight. I think Arvin's got enough steam left. It's just that he can't quite get off because he's being held and grabbed. Watch Watch
I don't know. I think Edwards is scoring with some of those shots on the inside. he is throwing overhand shots that you can see coming a minute before he throws them. Again, Arvin smothering Edwards. Round 5 coming to a close. This fight is scheduled for 6 rounds in the ballroom tonight. We'll be back.
Stop. That's it.
Welcome back to the ballroom. More of the same in round 5 as Ishmael Arvin continued to pummel Leo Edwards. Quickly, Jon Scheinman, 3 minutes to go. What's the score?
I agreed with you in the last round, Larry. Edwards won it. 49-46 Arvin. Going into the final round, Edwards needs a knockout.
I'd have to agree with Jon Scheinman. Mr. Saraceno, do you concur?
Yes.
Good learning experience for Ishmael Arvin, though, against an opponent who you don't see every day. The free swinging Leo Edwards. And you're right. Look up free swinging in the dictionary. There is a picture of Leo Edwards.
Right alongside Manny Mota.
That's right. Well, Manny Mota rather get hit by a pitch than swing, actually, so Edwards has that in common as well. Oh, delayed knockdown. I think that might have been a slip. Edwards doesn't like the call.
Well, his legs are so far apart, he's been skating around the ring all night.
Give me your gloves. Give me gloves. It's okay.
I would have to agree with Edwards, but a punch landed, so he went down. Another big left hand by Arvin. Another right hand right on the butt, and Edwards now in a heap of trouble. Arvin sensing he might be able to finish the deal. Wanting to keep that knockout streak alive. Oh, the mouthpiece of Ishmael Arvin comes flying out.
Stop! Neutral corner. Come in, neutral corner. Time out. Hey! Time in. Box.
So the mouthpiece replaced. And here we go again.
Let that head go. Break, step back.
Left hand on the inside by Edwards scoring. What a good round for Ishmael Arvin, though. Got to be way ahead on all the scorecards, John. Why does he continue to trade with this free swinging man from Philadelphia?
Because Edwards can't hit him with a bucket of sand.
Now Arvin on his toes for the first time in this fight. Arvin has showed us all of his skills tonight. Edwards, real tough in terms of taking a punch.
Arvin is just carving Edwards up like a Christmas turkey.
Edwards caught up in the ropes.
Kenny Chevalier watching very closely. I don't think Edwards is in all that much trouble. He's just getting pounded.
Arvin wanted the knockout. I don't think he's going to get it. Most likely will get the win. This fight goes the distance here in the ballroom tonight with sportsmanship shown between Arvin and Edwards. Edwards' corner wants to give their man a ride around the ring. Arvin has his hand up. He thinks he won.
All right, Edwards is getting back to Philly tonight.
So when we come back, we'll have the decision. Ishmael Arvin looking to remain unbeaten. The decision is next when we return. Welcome back to the ballroom. Larry Michael with Jon Saraceno. Ishmael Arvin and Leo Edwards go the distance. There was one knockdown ruled in the fight. Let's take a look at how that came down in the 6th and final round. As Leo Edwards firing from every possible angle. And I'm not so sure that wasn't a slip, but a punch was delivered and the punch did land. Let's look from overhead, John.
Well, the punch was landed, but let's face it, at that point, Edwards really didn't have a lot left in his legs, and his balance is poor. His legs are wide. Of course you're going to go down from a punch. It was
Well, you
legit.
could tell from the overhead cam that the punch did land on the side of his head. So, yes, good call by the referee, Kenny Chevalier. It was a knockdown, and the point probably is moot because Arvin most likely was ahead on all of the scorecards. Let's find out from Pat O'Malley.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. We go to the scorecards. Judge Don Richer scores it 60-53. Judge John Gradowski scores it 58-55. And Judge Malik Waleed scores it 58-55. The winner by unanimous decision, Ishmael Arvin.
Ishmael Arvin, the winner tonight in the ballroom. He remains unbeaten, running his record to 6-0-1. That is his first victory that he did not get by knockout, John.
No, but it was an impressive victory because he fought a very awkward opponent tonight. He did just about everything he had to do except stop him. And Edwards was in a survival mode. There you see Edwards, the long hair, and you just see him getting really pounded from one end of the ring to the other. Good left hand by Arvin. The right hand couldn't quite put him away tonight, but it was still a nice performance by Arvin. And he's going to learn from this, Larry.
Saraceno, the winner was Ishmael Arvin. He remains unbeaten. And the winner is standing by with Jon Scheinman. John?
Ishmael, that guy came from every direction he could think of. How tough a fight was that for you?
It was tough. It was tough. I mean, coming off a low layoff, my first fight in a long time. I mean, he's a tough guy. Got me sharp, though. He got me sharp.
Now, what were you trying to do to control him?
I was just trying to box him. I saw he was throwing them wild shots. That's all he was really throwing. I was just trying to stay back and not get caught one of them wild shots. Hit him with the jab, working the jab on him.
First time in your career, as far as victories are concerned, that you haven't scored a knockout. You seemed like you were really coming at him toward the end of the fight. It's a little disappointing.
A little bit, but I mean, I take the win. I take the win. It's like I said, it's my first fight in a long time. You know what I'm saying? I'm back. I'm back strong.
What level do you think you're at right now? This guy is a very well-tested veteran. He's fought some of the top names in the game.
I'm moving up the ladder. I'm moving up. You know what I'm saying?
Ishmael Arvin is becoming a favorite here at the ballroom. We hope we get to see him back on his way to the top. Let's go back to ringside.
Boy, you know, John, it is so hard to look good against a guy like Leo Edwards. I thought Ishmael Arvin looked really good against a guy who's tough to look good against.
I mean, it's hard to be impressive when a guy is throwing wild punches like Edwards was tonight. Arvin sat down on his P's and Q's, boxed the man, and got out with a decision. Got cut up a little bit. Just wanted to get out of here with a win and go on to the next fight.
We hope you're enjoying Ballroom Boxing tonight. More to come from the Ballroom in a moment. You never know who you're going to see in the ballroom. Legendary broadcaster Chuck Thompson is with us tonight. Special treat for me. This is one of the men I listened to. I really wanted me to get, I wanted to get in this business after listening to Chuck Thompson call those Orioles games all those years. How you doing, Chuck?
I'm doing pretty good for an old man.
How do you like this, other than the light in your eyes earlier in the fight? This is a real fun atmosphere, isn't it?
Well, I didn't know that anybody in this area had any kind of boxing. And I think I like the quality of it. I like I haven't seen anything that was very sloppy. It looks as though the people that are running this know what they're doing. And it's, if you're like an avid boxing fan and have been for years, I'm glad that you have a place like this where you can come down and see some first-class, fighting.
You must feel comfortable because you look down the row and there's Brooksy sitting there in the front row.
Right,
Not bad, huh?
Well, I never knew that anything like this happened in this area, and this is the first time I've been here. And it seems like though the people that are running it know exactly what the heck they're doing. It's a good show.
Chuck, you were part of so many great broadcasts. Do you have a favorite? Do you have one moment in your career that you would say stands alone?
Well, I think when the Colts beat the Giants for the first chance for the World Championship, that was one of the biggest thrills. Not only for the game, but when we got back, we came back on buses from New York. When we got to the stadium that night, or that afternoon at about 5:30, I never realized there were so many football fans in the city of Baltimore. It was one of the great days and nights in my life. It was just great.
Chuck, didn't you call Bill Mazeroski's home run as well? Was that you who called that? Or?
I think I did, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So many great memories.
Just being the right guy at the right time. That's what it is.
Well, it's my pleasure to have Chuck with us tonight in the ballroom. You having fun tonight?
Yeah, I haven't seen any fighting for a long time, and I'm surprised at what I'm looking at. There's some pretty good talent out there.
It's our pleasure having you, Chuck. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Hall of Famer in his own right, Chuck Thompson. More coming up from the ballroom. Don't go away. Welcome back to the ballroom. In the ring right now, Cory Cummings, unbeaten 3-0, getting set to take on Darren Whitley. Is it Darren Whitley or is it Derrick Whitley? John, we can't tell them apart.
I need a federal ID card.
Let's find out what John Scheinman has to say about this matchup. John.
Thank heavens I'm here, because it's Darren, I can tell you that much. Let me tell you something, Larry. I just walked through the crowd here, and there is a buzz in this house for Cory Cummings right now. A lot of people are whispering, Cory Cummings, he's coming in the ring. This is a vaunted amateur fighter who's now 3-0 as a pro out of Baltimore. You know he's got to be tough if he's taking on Darren Whitley with just 3 fights under his belt. Whitley has 40 pro fights, and he's a regular in the ballroom, and we know he's extremely tough. There's got to be a lot of confidence in Cummings. Regular watchers of the Ballroom series will know Darnell, the Ding-a-ling man Wilson. This man, Cummings, has beaten him before in the amateurs. He's stocky, he's powerful, he's explosive. This is going to be potentially the unveiling of a very exciting professional.
23 years old from Baltimore, Maryland, Cory Cummings, just 3 pro fights, and he's taking on one of the Whitleys. Preposterous. Let's get it started with Pat O'Malley.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Ballroom Boxing presents the 6th-round bout in the cruiserweight division. Your referee in charge is Jon Gradowski. Judging the bout at ringside, Kenny Chevalier, Don Richer, and Malik Waleed. Your scorekeeper is Bill Holmes. Your timekeeper is Tommy Canaris. Introducing the boxers, first to my left, out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with gold trim. He weighed in at 183.25 pounds. He hails from Holyoke, Massachusetts. His record, 13, 21, and 6, 4 KOs. Please welcome Darren Double Impact Whitley. To my right, out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks and silver. He weighed in at 185.75 pounds. He comes to us from Baltimore, Maryland. His record is a perfect 3-0. All 3 wins via the KO. Please welcome Cory Cummings.
Well, Cory Cummings certainly looks the part, John. Jon Gradowski is the referee.
Gentlemen, you received your instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. That's good there. You're good there. Watch your heads, okay? Touch them up. Go to your corners. Wait for the bell.
We have a scheduled
John,
6th
take a look
round.
at that matchup for us, Whitley and Cummings.
Ready?
Well, the biggest
Ready?
disparity is, of course, Darren
Three.
Whitley is so much more experienced at 35. Cory Cummings, just a baby in boxing at 23 years old. How is he going to handle the pressure?
Ready?
And frankly, he looks very nervous and uptight right now.
Yeah, he does. In fact, Cory Cummings was in 9th grade when Darren Whitley began his pro career. This fight is underway. Whitley in the black trunks with the gold trim. Cummings in the black trunks with the white trim. Again, you have an amateur career like Cummings had. He's been brought along very, very nicely by his management team. And he's just beginning his pro career. Turned pro last September, and it's 3-0. He's never fought in his home state of Maryland. All of his fights thus far being in Pennsylvania. See, Cory Cummings, actually both these guys are not warmed up very well. Feeling out process here, John, and that plays into the hands of Cory Cummings to be able to shake out some of those nerves.
You know what? He looked really uptight before the fight started, but he doesn't. It looks like it's all out of him. The anxiety's all gone already. It's very calm right now.
Teddy Ellis one time told me that you lose energy before the fight by being nervous, surprisingly enough, and you know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm nervous all the time. Think about working with you.
Is that why you're always so tired?
No, and another thing will make you lose a lot of energy is missing punches. But
Right.
certainly the anxiety, the buildup. Some fighters are unable to deal with it in an effective manner, and they don't go as far in their careers as their talent would otherwise allow them to.
showing some good head movement there, but Whitley causing him no disturbance at all. Whitley not punching early in this fight. Neither man punching much in this fight so far. This fight is scheduled for 6 rounds.
He's got to remember to move that head. Select a couple of shots right there. The jab of Whitley. Whitley's got to pump that jab, double, triple it up, and keep moving.
Last time out for Darren Whitley, he lost a 6th-round decision to the Dingling man, Darnell Wilson. Cummings last time out in April of this year at Monroeville, Pennsylvania. 3-round TKO over Carl Gathright. In fact, all of Cummings' victories have come by way of knockout.
Really less than 6 professional rounds as a fighter.
This fight is scheduled for 6, so Darren Whitley's strategy would have to be to take this man to the deep water, even though it's not so deep after all. But for Cummings, it's deep.
Cummings is like 50 feet deep.
That's right. And this is the strategy by Whitley right now, trying to stay away. He wants to test a youngster from Baltimore, Maryland. Round 1, uneventful. Here in the ballroom, more ballroom boxing action coming up in a moment.
Time!
All right, welcome back to the ballroom. Larry Michael with Jon Saraceno. John Scheinman, as always, the 3rd member of our crew. In the ring right now, Cory Cummings, an unbeaten, high-potential fighter out of Baltimore, Maryland. 3-0, 3 knockouts. Going up against Darren Whitley, one of the Whitley brothers. Whitley, the veteran. Record of 13, 21, and 6 with 4 knockouts. And this, on paper, would appear to be a mismatch for the youngster Cummings, but a good first round for Darren Whitley. And in fact, Cummings is scheduled for 6 rounds here, Jon Saraceno, and he's never been past 3.
Well, let's put it this way. Since April, Darren Whitley's fought as many rounds as his opponent has in his career. I mean, that kind of puts it in context right there. Talking about a very green fighter in Cory Cummings, but having said that, you can see he does possess some boxing skills.
John, Cummings looks tentative in this fight right now. Doesn't look like he's letting his hands go. And could it be that those nerves that you talked about, this is the first time in front of the home folks here, and he's really been in a little bit of a shell so far.
He does look a little bit tight. He's not letting his punches flow. He's very cautious. He's done some good body punching. But he doesn't look like he's found a rhythm yet. In that regard, maybe it's better that it's a 6-round fight, but that remains to be seen.
Whitley's been a busy fighter as a professional dating back to 1995, multiple fights each and every year. In the year 2000, he had 8 fights. 2001, he had 6. Last year, he had 6, and this year so far, he's got 3. This is his 4th fight of the year, so he stays active.
And he's 35 years old. Doesn't have to be a end of your career when you hit your 30s.
Not so sure this is a way that Whitley can win the fight, however. In the backyard of the youngster Cummings.
Whitley just pecking away with the jab. I think Marlin Starling, who's sitting ringside, like to see him throw that jab a little bit more consistently.
Paying the price with the body shot, though, as a counter for Cummings. See, Whitley is so fundamentally sound with his defense, John. Fundamentally sound, and Cummings is going to have a hard time getting through that defense of Darren Whitley.
Good jab, double and triple jab. And downstairs by Cummings. Much better second round.
Body shots are really paying off for Cummings. As round 2 winds down, Whitley says, come on, bring it. Good round for Cory Cummings here in the ballroom. Welcome back to the ballroom action. In-between rounds action.
Toyota.
Cory Cummings go to the body of Darren Whitley.
Well, good combination punching that round by Cory Cummings. Not necessarily in that shot, although it was a good left hand. He did much better work than we saw at that juncture. That was his round all the way.
Double jab there to open round 3 by Cummings. John Scheinman, how do you have this fight scored through 2?
Well, I agree with you that Cummings won that round, but I thought it was really, really close, and I sat here and thought about it for a long time. I thought that Whitley is doing some really fine work in there with the jab and counter shots. I've got Cummings up 20-19. This is a close fight. The experience of Whitley is really starting to tell here.
Well, since we have the privilege of having Marlin Starling with us here, continuing at ringside, Magic Man, how do you see this fight? You got the young guy 3-0, and you know a little bit about Whitley. He's from the New England area. This is a tough matchup for the young kid.
I think Whitley has to put more punches together. I think, like you said, the jab is very important in this fight.
I mean, Whitley is not too far from Hartford. Holyoke's right up the road.
20 minutes from.
Well, Whitley not a big puncher, so even when he uses a jab, he doesn't really throw with the right hand with a lot of authority.
His feet are spread a little bit too wide. That's why he gets no leverage on his punches.
Oh, Marlin's down on that part with the leverage.
He knows his stuff, Saraceno. Come on.
We're going to have to get him off that headset soon. There's going to be a problem here at ringside.
I've been around a little while, you know, just a tad.
Whitley using that jab right now, beginning to take the fight to Cory Cummings. And now we're going to see Cory Cummings has not been through 3 rounds in his career. This fight's scheduled for 6. So he's reaching his point that he's never been past.
Marlin, how difficult is it to make that jump from fighting a couple of rounds, and now he's got a potential 6-rounder here?
I think you can get in that jab. I think you're working it out. I think once you get people in front of you, I think that takes a lot of, it scares the fighter into going to this.
I see. So it's more psychological than even physical.
Exactly.
Yeah. Marlin, have you noticed that Whitley keeps his legs apart too far?
Both these guys digging in the center of the ring.
I think it's affecting his punching power.
Exactly.
So overhand right that time by Whitley, scored. Maybe his best punch of the fight, scored flush. Whitley trying to work it on the inside as well.
I see Cummings getting more confident as this fight goes along. I see Whitley in a lot of trouble here.
Cummings beginning to sit down on his body shots a little bit. And now Cummings trying to dance on his toes a little bit.
But Cummings is slipping shots, moving his head, whacking downstairs and going up top.
Round 3 coming to a close here in the ballroom. We've reached the midway point in this fight. What a come.
Join us after the show tonight.
Corner of Cory Cummings. And John, you've got 5 people talking in the corner of Cory Cummings. How could he hear what's going on?
I guess one guy had to shout louder than the other. They're talking about double, triple jab and then drop the brick. The right hand comes strong with the right hand. Let's see if he does it, Larry. Well, he did what his corner told him to do.
Listening to his corner real nice. Whitley in full defensive mode right now.
Well, the young fighter especially, you got to keep repeating things over and over again until they just do it naturally. And sometimes with older fighters, you got to do that, right, Marlon?
Overhand right by Cory Cummings. There's a jab by Whitley. Cummings got him in the center of the ring.
Marlon, when you typically sat down on your stool between rounds, what would you try to get from your corner man?
One thing you get, one person does the speaking. You see the corners today, everybody's talking. Everybody, you never know who to listen to. You have a chief second, one person speaks.
One voice in the corner.
One voice.
Larry mentioned that after that last round, Cummings' corner, there was a lot of chatter coming from different areas, and it was kind of difficult to hear possibly what to do, but so far he's following the strategy.
Yeah, Whitley up against the ropes, trying to fend off the attack of Cory Cummings. Really no damaging blows there, but Whitley laying up against the ropes, there's no way he's going to win in that position.
Now he's a stand-up boxer.
Oh, that was a big overhand right by Cummings, but Whitley took it. One thing about the Whitleys, John, these guys are tough. Their beards are strong.
The referee doing a great job. Anytime you see the drop, doesn't see the rough in the picture, he's doing a great job.
You don't even notice him.
Exactly.
Nice little jab there by Whitley. Whitley deciding he's going to move in this round a little bit.
Well, Whitley's going to have to use all his experience over those 40 fights here to hold off a young, frisky fighter, Cory Cummings.
Nice right hand by Whitley. I think maybe Whitley's movement is an attempt to tire Cummings out a little bit, see if Cummings will come dancing with him a little bit. And Whitley's picking up the jab a little bit here, John, and I kind of feel a little bit of a shift happening right now in the direction of Whitley.
And the movement may be bothering him too, a little bit of Whitley's boxing ability. Although, again, he's very reluctant to throw the right hand. I think he's a little bit leery about getting countered with the right.
But Whitley has no leverage whatsoever on this man.
End of the fourth round, a good round for Darren Whitley as Cummings tries to corner him at the end of the bout. All right, welcome back to the ballroom action from
Have a Budweiser, the king of beers, or the new
the end of the round. Darren Whitley kind of ran out of gas.
Well, he did a lot of moving in that round.
Or a
and I thought he outboxed Cummings.
I'll give him that round.
Yeah. I've only given Whitley one round.
See what Jon Scheinman has given these guys on his unofficial scorecard. What do you think, Scheinman?
Very, very close fight. 39-38 on my unofficial card for Cummings. That was a subtly dominant round for Whitley. I mean, Cummings came out very strong. Whitley picked off every single shot with excellent glove defense. Gradually came out of his shell, began to work the jab, counter shots. He landed all of the significant blows in that round. I think the experience is really starting to tell, and Whitley's turning the tide, Larry.
For once this year, I agree with Scheinman. But there are still a couple more rounds to go in this fight. So Cummings, the younger guy, he doesn't look like he's getting winded, even though he's never been this far.
I also think you have to give credit to Cummings' punches are much harder than Whitley's. And this is not amateur boxing. So you got to give weight to heavier scoring blows.
Last time Darren Whitley was beaten by knockout was right here in the ballroom by Barry Butler in March of 2002.
Well, Cummings, because he's a stocky, powerfully built guy, he loads up with that right hand. If he would use that jab a little bit more effectively, I think he could land that right hand a little bit more because he's got good upper body movement. But right now he's trying to box Whitley from the outside, and that's not going to work.
Nice right hand by Whitley. Set it up with a jab.
I think Cummings is fighting the wrong styles, Marlin.
I think so also.
He's standing on the outside of a boxer.
He needs to pursue the action.
Cummings might be running a little bit low on fuel right here. He's never been this far before. And Whitley, of course, has been 8 rounds on probably 24 occasions.
Cummings just winked at me, so you know I don't know if he's interested in what's going on there.
Come on, step back. Not necessarily a good sign.
No, I don't think so.
He's overconfident. Maybe he thinks he's winning the fight easily. I don't know.
That's a big overhand right. That stunned Whitley. The best punch of the fight. Whitley up against the ropes. He needs to move. Cummings with the flurry. None of those punches scoring as Cummings tries to put it on Whitley right now.
Well, he's got to remember to jab his way in too. He's rushing. He's rushing right at Whitley, who's an accomplished boxer.
This round coming to a close. Cory Cummings with a big punch, but Whitley survives. Welcome to the ballroom. We are in the 6th and final round, getting set to begin. Larry Michael, Jon Saraceno, the former world champion Marlin Starling. In the ring, Darren Whitley is giving it his all, but really, Cory Cummings, a little too much power, a little too much firepower for Darren Whitley, John.
Cummings is coming on strong later in the fight. Is it going to be enough as we enter the end of the match?
We're going to find out. Cummings has never been this far before.
This is the final round.
Sixth and final round underway. John Scheinman, how do you have it scored through 5?
Real quick, Larry, that was a huge round for Cummings. I have him up 49-47. Whitley is not known as a knockout puncher. He's going to need one to win this fight.
Exactly.
Magic Man agrees.
Well, the ringside consensus from us seems to be that Cummings has a slight edge going into this last round. But Marlin Starling said off camera he thought that Cummings was going to need a big, impressive round to win this fight. Let's see what happens here.
Marlin Starling, if Cummings were to win this fight, if this were,
I thought Whitley needed an impressive round.
Oh, I misunderstood you. I'm sorry.
Marlin, if Cummings does win this fight, just a young kid like that fighting a veteran, how much has this fight meant to Cummings? I would think a lot.
I think this fight means a great deal to Cummings. And let him know that he can go with seasoned professionals.
This would be a huge win. 4th fight in his career.
Yeah.
I guess maybe they knew what they were doing when they made this match, because you could certainly question it on paper.
Cummings bringing some heat here in the 6th and final round.
See, the thing is, Whitley does not have enough of a punch to keep his opponent off. And so Cummings is just bull rushing him.
Cummings' leg's a little weak right now, just from being tired. Doesn't have as strong a base as he did at the beginning of the fight.
But once again, you see the legs on Whitley. See how wide they is. They have no leverage in the punches. He's not in position to punch.
Right. Once again, Cummings has Whitley up against the ropes. Good body work by Cummings again.
Boy, Cummings, you got to be impressed with the volume of punches he's thrown, Marlon. He's thrown a lot of punches tonight in combination.
I think it's knockout time for Whitley. I think he needs a knockout to win the fight.
Step out. One step
I would agree.
A pounding body shot by Cummings.
Darren Whitley, a consummate professional, and you saw those body shots really hurt. He's wincing from that pain. Whitley trying to gut it out now, and may be just trying to survive at this point the round.
That's what I see. I see he's trying to survive. He doesn't look like he's going to.
He's trying to stay out of harm's way.
He's trying to stay alive.
Whitley has gone 6 or more rounds 24 times, but in this instance, Cummings' first trip the 6-round distance has seemed to be successful. Good-looking prospect, Cory Cummings, goes the distance with Darren Whitley. And when we come back to the ballroom, Whitley thinks he won. The judges might see it differently. We'll get the word when we return. Welcome back to the ballroom. Larry Michael, Jon Saraceno, and the Magic Man, Marlin Starling. We just saw Cory Cummings, the youngster, 23 years old, unbeaten, go the 6-round distance for the first time in his career. Looking back at action from this fight, Cory Cummings had plenty left at the end, John.
Well, he's a young, frisky fighter, and he really put his punches together well. I think he's just too powerful for Whitley. Even though Whitley has more boxing experience, I don't think Whitley had enough power to keep Cummings off him tonight. I had Cummings winning comfortably by decision.
Marlin Starling, would you agree? You think it's going to be Cummings winning the decision tonight?
I think Cummings won this fight on conditioning. I think conditioning played a big fight in this fight.
Yeah, younger guy, younger legs.
Exactly.
You know, they say there's no replacement for experience, and there's no substitute for youth either when you look at it.
Exactly. Good body work.
Yeah, he had Whitley up against the ropes on more than one occasion. And Whitley, the veteran that he is, hung tough, but it would appear that Cummings has won his 4th as a professional with no losses. Let's find out from Pat O'Malley.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. We go to the scorecards for the decision. Judge Don Richer scores it 58-56. Judge Kenny Chevalier scores it 59-55. And Judge Malik Wali scores it 58-57. And the winner, by unanimous decision, and still undefeated, Cory Cummings!
Cory Cummings gets the win as expected. Whitley doesn't like it, and you can't blame him.
Well, I like the Whitley brothers, but I can't blame him. I think Cummings won the fight clearly.
Cory Cummings remains unbeaten, and he's standing by with Jon Scheinman in the ring.
Cory, Darren Whitley showed a lot of good glove defense in this fight, and he started to work the jab well in the 4th round. Did you think he was that tough, and were you worried that he was turning the tide there in the middle of the fight?
No, I thought that he was just trying to use his experience on me, trying to like steal the rounds with petty points, a little jab here, but none of the points were efficient though. It wasn't effective. All it was like small, baby points that she was doing in amateurs.
You came into this fight with 3-0 record, but your opponent had 40 fights under his belt. Why did your camp think this was a good bout for you?
Because I'm trying to get up the ladder, you know what I mean?
Quickly, huh?
Yeah, quickly, but slowly, but surely, but quickly. But I just want to get the experience with guys like him that's unique, because he's a veteran.
Is this good learning experience, and what did you learn in the fight?
I learned that I need to step with my jab more, move more head movement. I wasn't doing enough head movement, and when I was slipping, I should have made him pay for missing it. I need to work on that, bobbing and weaving, head moving a little bit more.
Cory Cummings, very bright prospect, getting his 4th win in 4 tries against a 40-fight professional. Good showing here in the ballroom. Let's go back to ringside.
All right, thank you, John. Cory Cummings now 4-0 with a very bright future ahead of him. More coming up in the ballroom. Don't go away. Back to the ballroom, Larry Michael, and this is the very recognizable dingling man, Darnell Wilson, who has really made a name for himself here in the ballroom. Darnell, you're on the fast track. How long before you think you're going to be fighting for world championship?
My team, we feel that I'll be fighting, I say, within a year and a half. That's what we're shooting for.
Darnell, tell us about the formative years of Darnell Wilson here in the ballroom. How much has this place meant to you in your development as a professional boxer?
This meant so much to me, I can't even really put it in words. The fans here have been the constructive criticism, the support they've given me has been very critical to the start of my career.
And for young guys out there who might be watching boxing, boxing, you hear about Las Vegas, the big world championship fights. If you can't get it done here, you're never going to graduate.
That's right. That's right. But, this place, it's almost like better than most any place that I've watched fights and fought at, just because of the way the fans are. The fans are the best. They're true fight fans. They know boxing, and I don't know. They cheer for the guys that are away, the guys that are here, whoever's doing their job. The fans are for them. I love them.
We appreciate all you have done for this place, and we'll follow your career down the road. And don't forget us here now.
Oh man, the Dingley man forgets nothing.
There you go, the Dingley man, Darnell Wilson. We'll be back with more ballroom boxing in a minute. Welcome back to the ballroom. Ballroom boxing action in your house right now. Coming up, Larry Michael with Jon Saraceno. We have the unbeaten Olympian Noram Suleyman in the ring against the double tough Charles Clark. Jon Scheinman with a look at this battle. John.
Larry, it's not very often you'll see a guy in an 8-rounder who can boast a win over Costa Zoo. Granted, Suleiman did that in the amateurs, but this is a really good fighter. We saw him on the ballroom back on March 20th, defeating Joshua Onyango. Very impressive there. His opponent tonight, Charles Clark, has lost 5 fights in a row, and that might not look impressive on paper, but everyone in the Washington-Baltimore area knows this guy is a really tough fighter. He's a little mighty might, all-action fighter, very dangerous when he gets hurt, and his fight earlier this year with Jimmy Lang down in Washington, I thought was one of the fights of the year. So this could be a very entertaining contest.
All right, John. Suleiman risks his unbeaten record tonight here in the ballroom. Let's get it started, as always, with Pat O'Malley.
Ballroom Boxing presents this 8-round bout in the junior middleweight division. Your referee in charge is Kenny Chevalier. Judging the bout at ringside, John Gradowski, Bill Holmes, and Malik Wali. Your scorekeeper is Patrick Manella. The timekeeper is Don Risher. Introducing the boxers. First to my right, out of the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with black trim. He weighed in at 153 3/4 pounds. From Baltimore, Maryland, and the legendary Mac Lewis Gym. His record, 14-16-1, 5 via the KO. Please welcome Charles Clark. To my left, out of the red corner, wearing the green trunks. He weighed in at 152.5 pounds. His hometown now is Houston, Texas, via Turkey and Kazakhstan. His record, a perfect 10-0, 4 via the KO. A 2-time Olympiad in 1996 and 2000. Please welcome Nurhan. the Sun King, Suleiman.
Suleiman with the mixed reaction from this packed house here at the ballroom. Referee is Kenny Chevalier. Suleiman, by way of, as Pat said, Turkey, prior to that, Kazakhstan. Now making his home in Houston, Texas.
All right, look here, both of your trunks, both of your cups are a little high. I'm allowed right here at the tip, all right? The main thing I want is a clean break. Watch the low blows. I don't want them heads used in the wrong way. Touch these gloves up. Let's do this.
John, take a look at the matchup, Suleiman and Clark.
Well, a couple of junior middleweights, Larry. The biggest difference is that height differential. And it looks a lot more than 2 3/4 inches when two men stand nose to nose. Suleiman much taller than Clark.
Well, Suleiman has a win over Costazu and a loss to Joel Casamayor. The loss to the former WBA 130-pound champion came at the age of 10.
So won't count that on his record.
Suleiman coming out. Charles Clark very shifty. Of course, we saw him against Jimmy Lang and gave Jimmy all he could handle. Clark looks a little thicker in the upper body than the last time we saw him, John.
Nice physique, but what can he do with it? You see him waiting in there carelessly against the Sun King. Good body shot by Suleiman.
Last time we saw Suleiman in the ballroom was in March of this year, and Joshua Oyengo took him the distance, and at the time, John, we were questioning Suleiman's punching power.
Well, we thought he should have been able to get him out of there. That wasn't the case. But Suleiman putting a lot of heat right now on Clark, going downstairs low, Larry.
Yep, the body shots getting to Clark early. You can see that nondescript look on Clark's face. He tries to stay out of the range of those body shots. Nice right hand to the body, left hand to the head by Suleiman, and a tough jab as well.
Clark's got to come out here aggressive too. He can't let Suleiman get off in the first round. You see Suleiman trying to dominate Clark with that long reach.
Suleiman is an accomplished boxer. Wouldn't say he's a big-time brawler or heavy hitter. Out of 10 wins, he has 4 wins by way of knockout. But the body work effective early here in round 1. Suleiman, John, is 10-0, but he is 32 years old. He spent a long time in the amateurs, and in fact, he might have spent his best years there.
And that happens frequently, or sometimes with fighters. They waste their best years in non-professional boxing, and it almost becomes too late to make the transition. So far, he's undefeated, but it remains to be seen how far he can go.
That overhand right by Clark to the top of Suleiman's head, I think, stunned Suleiman for a moment.
He did back off and blinked it, caught his attention.
This kind of fight we expected from Charles Clark, looking to grind it out. He's not a big power puncher either.
He's got to get off those ropes. Smaller fighter just looks bad.
5 knockouts out of 14 wins for Charles Clark.
Well, Suleiman's eating him up with a jab, Larry.
Jab and body shots.
A little bit of swelling under the left eye of Clark.
Good look, John. Your eyes have not gone yet. Look the way he's angling. The jab is actually hitting him in the left eye, the way he positioned himself from the conventional stance.
Well, Clark is standing right in front of Suleiman, and he's not punching, so he's a target. He can't punch from that far outside.
Nice pinpoint combination by Suleiman as he tags the dome of Charles Clark as round 1 comes to a close. Welcome back to the ballroom. Larry Michael with Jon Saraceno. Pleasure being with you tonight for Ballroom Boxing, seen coast to coast. This is Ballroom Boxing edition 51. It's gotten so big, they've needed Roman numerals to label these boxing shows, John.
Borrowing a page from the NFL.
How about that? Each and every Ballroom Boxing show is a Super Bowl in its own right. And in the ring right now, we've got 2 guys that are really giving it their all. Noram Suleiman in the green and Charles Clark in the white and black trunks. Suleiman did a good job in the first round, John. I would have to assume that you gave it to him.
10-9 round for Suleiman. You know, that was only his 40th round as a professional fighter. You could just see how much schooling he had as an amateur. Looks much more polished than a guy with just 40 rounds.
Doesn't take any chances. Earlier, though, got tagged by the right hand by Charles Clark. And I think Charles Clark has to take some risks here, John, because Suleiman is so schooled, especially defensively. And no chance that he's going to make a big mistake in this fight. Suleiman sneaking that right hand in. Oh, nice overhand right by Clark. Another right hand by Clark. And Suleiman walks right through it. Oh, a little short right hand on the inside that time. Popping Clark right in the jaw. John, you said it last round that Clark is just standing in front of Suleiman. At least he should punch.
Well, he's trying to parry the shots and move and slip his head, but he's not doing a good enough job of it and not enough offense, and he could be countering, but he's not doing a lot of that either. He's getting hit a lot on the inside. But it's not a fight he can win from the outside either because of his size.
Suleiman again using that jab to great effect.
If Suleiman would keep him outside with the jab, I don't think Clark could get within 1.5 feet of him.
Leaping left hand that time right off the lips of Charles Clark. Might have stunned him. Well, Suleiman's got him where he wants him, up against the ropes.
And Suleiman should go back to the body here, Larry, because that's where he did effective work in the first round. He has him pinned up against the ropes to get Clark to drop those hands.
Last time Charles Clark won was in July of 2002. 4-round majority decision over Gerald Reed. As John Scheinman mentioned, he's lost 5 in a row against some pretty tough opposition. Tony Marshall, Jimmy Lang, Andre Turkin, and Yuri Foreman. Foreman unbeaten. Charles Clark does not shy away from tough competition.
No, and he's standing there fighting Suleiman, not all that effectively, but Suleiman, when he goes to the body, Larry, he is really hurting his opponent. But for some reason, he doesn't stick with it.
A little blood from the mouth of Charles Clark. Another good round for Noram Suleiman. Unbeaten and looking good right now in the ballroom. The ballroom action from round 2 is Noram Suleiman beginning to school Charles Clark, John.
Well, there's those body shots, and you see Clark dropping his elbows along his sides to protect further damage, but the body shots by Suleiman are tearing up Clark.
That was the end of the round, and Suleiman by the end of round 2 was really pounding away through 2 rounds. John Scheinman, how do you have it scored?
On my unofficial card, Larry, with the 10-point must system, I have Suleiman ahead 20-18, 2 rounds to none. You know, I've seen Charles Clark fight probably 10 times in his career, and every one of his fights unfolds like this. But this fight, he went back to the corner after that second round, not looking good. Usually he rallies in the middle late rounds and makes just a war out of things. But he looked shaky going back. Suleiman just might be too tough for him.
That's a very good analysis.
Maybe the best analysis Scheinman has had all year.
Terrific, because that Clark does kind of look a little bit unsteady after the first, even after the first round.
Now the body shots, man. The body shots are really taking, you called it on the replay, John. His arms, look at his arms right now.
Yeah, he's got his left elbow down around his waistline to protect from the right hand.
Low blow there by Charles Clark, but it was a slapping blow. Suleiman's in charge right now, John.
Totally. And he's also dominating when he wants to use the jab. But if he continues to go downstairs, he's going to be able to maybe still score a stoppage here. Although it's a short fight, so relatively speaking, 8 rounds.
Charles Clark needs something good to happen right now. I can't imagine he could take 5 more rounds of this type of punishment. Got to take a gamble, take a risk, and maybe score a blow somewhere along the way.
Yeah, he's going to have to throw a haymaker too.
For no other reason to keep Suleiman off that body attack. It's a brutal body attack.
But he can't even get past the jab. I mean, and sometimes Suleiman throws the jab just to make it annoying. It's not even a hard jab. It changes up with it.
And a body shot by Clark. Suleiman bullies him away. Clark is trying to fake Suleiman out, deliver an overhand right. I can see him trying to set it up, but Suleiman's jab is just too stiff and too quick.
Well, the other thing is, I don't know if Charles Clark has the kind of power to really bother Suleiman. I mean, does he have one-punch knockout power? He really doesn't possess that kind of a punch.
And of course, Suleiman never been knocked out. Never had a professional loss. A little blood from the mouth of Suleiman now. As he continues with that rapier sharp jab.
Suleiman just basically stalking Clark and doing what he wants.
Nice combination. Good left hook that time, scores in the chin of Clark. Clark hits him right on the belt line.
That was close.
Borderline punch, borderline
south of the border. I tell you, that was looked low from here.
I don't know. That might have hit him right on the belt. I thought it hit him right on the belt.
Close.
Anyway, Suleiman is going to have a moment of rest here as Kenny Chevalier does the right thing.
Stay there, stay there.
Well, Suleiman claiming he's ready.
Watch that, okay? All right. Time in.
It looked low on the replay that we saw on our monitor.
We're going to check that replay out momentarily as action resumes. Good overhand right by Charles Clark. And maybe that was the thing that he needed to have happen, John. I mean, that was a borderline shot, and Suleiman was definitely hurt, so Clark might be smart to go back to the body as round 3 winds down.
Either that or he's going to get knocked out.
One or the other. Taking a look at what happened in round 3. Was it or was it not a long low? Watch left hand.
Stay there, Clark.
That looked low to me.
How could you tell, John? Couldn't see from that position.
Well, Kenny Chevalier could see he was right there, and he ruled it a low blow. I'm not going to disagree with him.
I'll go with Chevalier.
You don't want to agree with me. You're just not going to go against Kenny.
I'll agree with Kenny. Kenny was, he had the. If Kenny was standing behind the boxer and didn't see it, then I wouldn't agree with him either.
It was.
Kenny had the
Yeah, I think it was low. It looked low in real time.
In any event, that might be a second warning to Charles Clark, who now has a little bit of blood above the left eye, right on the brow, underneath the eyebrow. A tough place for a cut. That blood's going to flow right in his right eye. The right eye, excuse me, of Charles Clark. And so now the desperation really should come into full steam right now for Charles Clark. If he's going to get desperate and take some chances, now might be the time.
I'll tell you what, Suleiman, I think, really got angered. Not that a fighter wants to use anger in the ring, but by that low blow. He's come out here looking a lot more resolute.
Charles Clark scores a punch, so he's got to throw something. Right now, Suleiman just pushing him around the ring.
Well, actually, Clark's battling back with that jab. He's having a better time of it than he had the first couple of rounds. I've got him trailing 30-27 after 3.
There's Clark with a jab again. Leg right hand by Clark. Almost a clash of heads that time. Bang, left hand by Suleiman. And this is breaking out into a war right now.
Well, this is what Jon Scheinman pointed out about Clark's career. He's been a guy who starts slow and then picks up the pace and really fights his way back into the fight. We're seeing that here in the 4th round.
But he has 2 wins since February of 2001. And in fact, John, he's fought some tough competition all the way back. So this is not a man who has had it easy in the sport of boxing, Charles Clark. He's faced adversity.
No, he's used to this. Doesn't make it any easier, but you know how to deal with it.
Little jab by Suleiman. Left hand by Suleiman.
Clark's legs just don't look totally there, and I don't think he's able to set down and turn on his punches like he would want to. And some of that, of course, is a tremendous body work that Suleiman did in the first 3 rounds of the fight.
Marlin Starling, the Magic Man, here in attendance tonight. Good to see you, champ. Good to see you. Suleiman with a left hand. Nice overhand right. And Suleiman bleeding from the mouth. Hopefully the Magic Man will stick around a little bit. We'll get a headset on him.
Definitely.
And see what he's been up to.
It was a shock to see Marlin here tonight.
Yes.
We've never seen him in the ballroom, and we welcome him. We hope he comes back. We hope to get him on air in a little while.
This round continues. We'll have Marlin Starling with us next round. End of the round as Suleiman continues his fine performance. Charles Clark up against the ropes. Halfway through this fight here in the ballroom. We'll be back. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing. Larry Michael, Jon Saraceno, and the former world champion Marlin Starling with us as well. The Magic Man. How are you, man?
All right, how are you?
Real good, real good.
You looking good?
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. You are too, buddy.
I'm trying.
Hey, Marlin, you look like you could still fight. It's been, what, 13 years?
Oh, it's been that long.
Yeah.
I like to watch.
Hard to believe. Are you training some fighters now?
Yes, in the north end of Hartford, in greater Hartford area.
In the ring right now, the Magic Man with us at ringside. In the ring, Noram Suleiman has done a good job. We're going to check Jon Scheinman's scorecard midway through. John?
40-36, Suleiman pitching a shutout. for the life of me, I can't figure out why Charles Clark abandoned the jab that he showed in the first minute of that last round. That put him right back in the fight, Larry. I mean, he was able to start working body shots, get inside, work wherever he wanted. Then he abandoned the jab. Suleiman took back over. It looked like the first 3 rounds after that.
All right, John, thank you very much. Larry Michael, Jon Saraceno, Scheinman, your Ballroom Boxing crew, along with former world champion Marlin Starling. Big left hand by Suleiman. And Marlin, what kind of feeling you get? Oh, big left hand by Suleiman again. Got to keep an eye on the action. Charles Clark in a lot of trouble, fires back with a left hand.
Wow, Clark is really battling back here under dire circumstances.
He's got some guts, that's for sure. Suleiman muscles him away. Marlin Starling, what do you think about this venue? Does this take you back to when you started in boxing?
Sure, this takes me back to in the Harvey Civic Center on the bottom floor. It's great. You know, ballroom boxing is it.
All the folks right on top of the action, you know?
You're right there. You're right there.
Marlin, we haven't talked in years, and the one thing I never did ask you is, how come you never fought Sugar Ray Leonard? They talked about that fight so much, and it never happened.
Well, I don't know. That was a fight that we all wanted, and I guess my mockability wasn't there for him at that time.
At that time, but you came on strong afterwards. In the ring, Charles Clark, I don't know how he's surviving. Noram Suleiman has hit him with everything he's got. Charles Clark is still there, and rocks Suleiman back with a left hand. A little blood from the right eye of Charles Clark. Suleiman with that jab.
Marlon, what can Clark do that he has not done in the fight? I mean, obviously he's at a physical disadvantage, but he's fighting with a lot of heart. Is there anything he could do from a technical standpoint?
I think you put a little more pressure on him, keep his hands up. He's bringing his hands back down too low. You're waiting for one big punch. You need to punch at the shoulders instead of punch at the head.
Marlon, what does this mean to a young fighter coming in here? This is, I guess, a great learning experience, isn't it?
It's a great learning experience for the young kids today. And you get a lot of exposure, not only TV exposure, you get a lot of people exposure.
Right. Marlin Starling is with us at ringside. In the ring, Noram Suleiman taking care of business against Charles Clark. Another fine round for Suleiman. More from the ballroom in a minute. Welcome back to the ballroom. Taking a look at the action from round 5.
Luna to Luna.
Go ahead, Bob. What do you see on that replay?
Get it up now.
Once again, you see here, he's keeping his hands down too low. I mean, if you look at his eyes are very wary at this time. I'm surprised if we haven't stopped the fight.
Yeah, he's taken a lot of punishment.
Taking a lot of punishment.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Charles Clark.
Tough guy.
He is a tough guy.
Maybe too tough.
I said no. All right, time in.
Well, that's what the fans want to see, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
They like the tough guys. You know that. You were slick and tough. You were both now, okay? You were not just tough. You were slick and tough. That's a tough combination to be.
I just didn't want to get hit.
That's a pretty good philosophy.
Hit and don't get hit. That's the name of the game.
That's why you're sitting here talking with us right now.
Okay.
That's slippery.
Charles Clark, got to give him some credit for the heart he showed. Suleiman's had that jab in his face the whole fight. And again, he doubles up the jab, and Clark backs up. Suleiman setting up that right hand with the left.
The jab is really hurting this guy.
It really is. And Clark on his toes a little bit, trying to give a different tempo to Suleiman.
Well, and I want to ask you, you turned pro in the late 70s and fought until 1990. You stayed at 147 pounds for virtually your entire career at welterweight. Nowadays, we see guys who are fighting who regularly move up very quickly in weight. They jump up 2, 3, 4 classes. Why were you able to maintain that same weight your entire career, and was that a positive for you?
Well, I don't know if it was a positive. I think I was just a mature, as I grew along, I think I just maintained gym work. I stayed in the gym, I kept working out. I mean, you know, as you grow, your body gets bigger. Right? You know, I just feel like the kids today doesn't work as hard.
Work ethic is what you're talking about.
Work ethic
Get some
is what it
scissors
is.
ready
So
over
you're
here.
trying to keep your body in shape at that weight, and you paid the price.
At that way, you know, you have to pay the price.
Right.
I mean, you're not supposed to blow up.
That's what happens. A lot of boxers nowadays have put on 20, 30 pounds between fights, and that really shortens their careers.
Exactly.
Not to mention the announcers.
Couple tough guys in the ring. Noram, Suleiman in the green. Charles Clark. Charles Clark moving forward, and Suleiman beginning to eat a few right hands. Suleiman hanging in and scores with the right hand of his own. Clark's in trouble. And left by Suleiman.
Referee's got to watch very closely here because Clark is taking a pounding.
Suleiman trying to set up that right hand again with that jab. A little swelling around the eyes of Suleiman now. And blood from the mouth of Suleiman.
Marlon, do you think he's taken enough, Clark? What's your opinion here? He's starting to look a little wobbly.
Well, you know he's throwing punches.
Long as he can defend himself. Kenny Chevalier's got an eagle eye, though, on Charles Clark right now. They don't want to have him take too much punishment. Especially when it wouldn't appear that he has got an edge on his scorecard, that's for sure. Suleiman using good boxing, stepping away, making Clark miss. Clark goes to the body, and that is the end of round 6. 6 minutes to go, I should say. 6 minutes to go, 2 rounds left in this 8-round battle in the ballroom. Welcome back to the ballroom. Larry Michael, Jon Saraceno, and the former world champ Marlin Starling. Great to have the Magic Man in the ballroom tonight. Action from round 6 as Suleiman continued to pummel Clark, except for the big right hand by Clark that found the mark.
Well, Clark has shown to be durable tonight, aggressive, and willing to fight. He's taken like 3 or 4 punches for every one he's landed, and he keeps trying to make a fight of it, Marlon.
I think if Suleiman was to put a few combinations together, the referee would get him out of there.
I think you're right.
I mean, sometimes a fighter could be too brave for himself, can't he?
Exactly.
Clark has lost 5 in a row. I'm not so sure Suleiman had expected this competitive or this tough a guy in the ring with.
Well, especially the way he was drilling him in those first 3 rounds and then picking up the pace again in the middle rounds.
What do you think, Jon Scheinman?
Well, I mean, this is the stuff that I've seen Charles Clark throughout his whole career fight like that. I mean, he takes a brutal beating, that's true, and one day it's going to stop for him, and he's not going to have this kind of resiliency. But at this point in time, you can't stop a fight like this because these referees know Charles Clark fights like this, and they've seen it time again. They can't stop it. He's not doing anything different than he always does.
There you go, Jon Scheinman. 2 good points in a row by Scheinman.
He's on a roll.
That's a mega roll for him. Charles Clark keeps looking away, Marley. Keeps looking down to the side. Is he trying to draw his opponent in?
I think he's trying to draw him into a right hand lead.
He keeps looking down to the side, and maybe he's hoping that Suleiman follows his eyes. Oh, there you go. There's a right hand. Charles Clark just going to have to hope that lightning strikes. He's got to throw. At this point, he is buried on the scorecards for sure.
Charles Clark is going to be one sore man tomorrow morning. His ribs are taking a pasting.
He looks like he's in good shape, though.
Yeah, he's well muscled. He's a tough guy.
He's trying to load up.
Another good body shot by Suleiman. Suleiman might be arm weary by now.
Well, the volume of punches he's thrown, that wouldn't be surprising. He's been a very active fighter. He's really dominated the fight.
Nice body shot again. Clark trying to get a little bit of a rest on the ropes right now.
He tried to launch that right hand, but he missed him with it.
There's a right hand that he walks into.
Well, what I like about Charles Clark is even though he's been dominated in this fight, he's not fighting a fight of survival. He's actually trying to win the fight, Marlon.
He is. He's trying to fight.
7th round comes to a close. More of the same. Another good round for Suleiman. The 8th and final round will be next. 3 minutes to go in the ballroom. Jon Suleyman, I would have to assume, is ahead on all cards. Is he ahead? I guess, how much is he ahead on the scorecard of Jon Scheinman?
And final round.
Absolute shutout, Larry. I mean, he's won all 7 rounds, 70 to 63. They've been very entertaining, but they've been very methodical, and neither guy has switched up his style or done anything different to try to change the flow of the fight. It's a typical Charles Clark fight. He's overpowered because he doesn't have knockout power, but you know, he stays in there and he makes it exciting for the fans, and the other guy does just enough to win. I think looking ahead in Suleyman's career, we ought to question his punching power like we did in the last fight.
Well, I guess you'd have to question his punching power because he has hit Charles Clark with everything, but Marlin, Charles Clark ain't going nowhere. I think the punching power might not be a factor. This guy's just very, very tough.
Well, if you look at Suleiman's feet, his feet are spread too wide. He gets no power, no leverage on his punches.
There you go. That's from a world champion, former world champion right there. You could have said that, Saraceno.
Yeah, I was just about to say, don't be so sharp with your commentary.
He's beating you pretty bad right now.
Knock you out of your chair. You're not taking my job. Let me tell you something.
Oh, Suleiman slipped right there. He might have hurt his ankle. He looked down as though he had hurt his ankle. Let's see if Charles Clark might be able to take some advantage of that. Oh, loaded up on the right hand. Suleiman scores. Boy, the left eye of Charles Clark is a mess. The right eye has a cut above it. He's been bleeding from the mouth, and he's taken a terrible body beating in this fight. Other than that,
how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
If Suleiman was to put a few combinations together, I'm pretty sure he'll get him out of it. But he has to show 89 consecutive punches.
Suleiman's legs look like he just went through a car wash.
yeah, he's been pretty wet the whole time. They've been watering him like a plant in the corner.
You know, some of our viewers may be a little bit young and not familiar with Marlin Starling, but
Come on, he ain't that old. I'm older than Marlin.
I don't want to get him to get a comeback on right here while he's sitting with us. But you know, Marlin Starling was the kind of fighter that boxing could use today in the sense that he was a professional's professional. Marlin Starling was always ready to fight, and he fought everybody. Donald Curry, Mark Breland, Lloyd Hunnigan, Maurice Blocker, Michael Nunn, Kevin Howard, Tommy Ayers. I mean, the names, Lupe Aquino, Floyd Mayweather a couple of times. Didn't you fight Floyd a couple of times? Johnny Bump City Bumpus. I mean,
what a resume.
Yeah, incredible.
All right, it's our privilege having you here tonight. Thanks for stopping by ringside of the Ballroom. We appreciate you coming by, man.
My pleasure.
One of the greats, Marlin Starling, and I definitely remember Marlin Starling like it was yesterday. He was a good interview as well. He was a total package. This fight is going to go the distance. Suleiman chomping away from bell to bell. Oh, Suleiman goes down. I don't believe that was a knockdown. I think he slipped. It is a knockdown at the bell. And Charles Clark grabs lightning from a jug. And that is the end of the fight, I believe. The bell has rung. The bell has rung. And that is the fight. It goes 8 complete, and on the final second, Charles Clark scores the fight's only knockdown. Just incredible. Of course, too little, too late. When we return, we'll have the judges' scorecards and a look at that last-second flash knockdown. The action, as always, exciting in the Ballroom tonight. We'll be back. Ballroom Boxing is brought to you by Toyota and by Luna de Luna. Vibrant wine blends, perfect for any occasion. Luna de Luna, get some. By Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. And by Michael's 8th Avenue, a host of grand occasions. And by BallroomBoxing.com for the latest in ballroom boxing action, including upcoming live events and season tickets. Welcome back to the Ballroom. It would appear that Noram Suleiman has an easy victory, but in the final second of the fight, he gets knocked down by Charles Clark. Or did he get knocked down? Let's take a look. Couldn't tell when it first happened. Scores with a body shot, and then he goes down. I don't believe Suleiman was hit.
Well, he might have been off balance. Marlin Starling mentioned earlier how wide Suleiman holds his legs, And if nothing else, it was a flash knockdown. It really is not going to have much to do with the scoring, or should not have anything to do with the scoring of the fight. Suleiman should be a clear-cut winner, Larry.
You'd have to think so. Suleiman dominating the fight with his jab and his body attack. Let's find out if he is the winner from Pat O'Malley.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. We go to the scorecards. Judge Gradowski scores it 77-74. Judge Holmes scores it 80-73. And Judge Malik Waleed scores it 79-73. The winner by unanimous decision, Nurhan, the Sun King, Suleyman.
No surprise there. So Noram Suleiman remains unbeaten, a unanimous decision win over Charles Clark, and he's standing by in the ring with Jon Scheinman. Jon?
I'm here with referee Kenny Chevalier. You scored the final moment of the fight a knockdown. In retrospect, was it a knockdown?
Well, in retrospect, at my angle where I saw it, at the time the punch was thrown, it looked as if there was contact with the glove to his head and he went down at the exact moment. But looking at the replay where it almost shows a different aspect of it.
What do the judges do in that point if you decide after the fact that it's not a knockdown?
That's my call at the time. That's the time span I had to make that call at. It's a knockdown.
Okay, thanks. We're going to go to the winner now. Congratulations. Very tough fight. Charles Clark had lost 5 fights in a row. Did you expect him to be that difficult?
Yes, this is professional boxing. This is totally different from amateur boxing. And I am just learning professional. That's why every fighter is for me difficult. Yes, I am difficult fighter too. But I am boxer. I love to box. I have to show good boxing ability. And yes, I prepared. I was ready for this fight toe-to-toe.
Noram Suleyman coming away to keep his record, undefeated record intact. Big win over Charles Clark, a former amateur star, now making his way up through the pro ranks. Let's go back to ringside.
All right, what a fight. We saw a great fight in the ring, and we had the Magic Man, Marlin Starling, with us outside the ring, Jon.
Yeah, what a treat that was to see Marlin Starling tonight. Over the years, proved to be one of the great fighters, former welterweight champion. Looks like he could still fight today.
No one went home disappointed tonight, especially if you were a fan of the unbeatens, because all of our young guns remained unbeaten tonight.
A learning process for some of those fighters. Cummings looks like a guy who could really make a mark in fighting. Only 3 fights coming into tonight. Sharp puncher, very strong, very impressive night for the young unbeaten.
I'll miss you, but you know what? I think I need a break from you for a couple months.
Okay, 3 months. See you right back here in September, right?
We'll be back as the fall season begins in the ballroom. For Jon Scheinman and Jon Saraceno, I'm Larry Michael. Thanks for watching Ballroom Boxing.